Have you ever thought about what a prophecy really is? Is it just someone predicting the future? Or could it be something more, active, something sent out into the world to actually make something happen? Well, today, we're diving into a really fascinating text that explores that exact idea, and it does it through one heck of a story.
So, this right here, this is the bedrock. Everything we're talking about today is built on this core idea from the book of Isaiah. The source material sees this as a fundamental principle. A divine word isn't just a statement, it's a mission. It gets sent out to do a specific job, and it simply cannot fail or come back empty.
And this is what the source text calls the accomplishing word. The idea here is that some prophecies aren't predictions at all. Nope. They're more like active assignments, divine instructions that are literally designed to be fulfilled, to go out and change the fabric of reality.
To make this idea concrete, the source brings up the prophet Samuel. And that phrase, "none of his words fall to the ground," that's the key. It means that everything he said, when divinely inspired, had a real-world effect. It didn't just disappear into the ether, it landed. It made an impact. And that's the model of true prophecy that our source text is working with.
Okay, so that's the principle. But how does something like this actually look in our world today? Well, the source shifts from ancient history to this deeply personal and frankly pretty bizarre modern-day story. It's like a case study of what happens when a divine command makes absolutely zero logical sense.
And you really have to get the context here. The author makes it super clear. He does not like wearing agbadas, these big traditional robes. He thinks even one is a hassle. So can you imagine being told to wear 7 of them all at once? I mean, it sounds ridiculous, uncomfortable, just totally illogical. This detail is so important because it really highlights how tough the next part was, obedience.
And the instruction wasn't just this one weird thing, it was a whole sequence of them. Step 1, put on all 7 robes. Step 2, dance in them. And step 3, lay them down on the altar. Now, as strange as all that must have seemed, the author did every single step. Why? Because, as the text points out, he recognized the voice that was giving the command.
And this is where the story takes a massive turn. This simple act of obedience, as weird as it was, seems to have fundamentally changed these clothes. They went from just being ordinary garments to being the center of something absolutely extraordinary.
This series of events here is just wild. So the instruction given to the people was very specific. Touch the robes, but do not hold them. But this one guy, he decides his problem is just too big for a simple touch, so he grabs on. And the result? It was immediate and terrifying. He started shaking uncontrollably for hours. It got so bad the author had to step in and plead with God to let him go. This story perfectly illustrates the source's point. A real power, switched on by that original command, was now living in those robes.
Now you might be thinking, okay, weird story, but that was a one-time thing, right? Had to be in that place at that time. But nope, this story's not over. Sometime later, the author's on a trip to the United States, and he gets another instruction. Bring one of those 7 agbadas with you. Turns out, this principle travels.
And this is where we meet the skeptic. The author shares the same instruction. Touch, don't hold. And some guy in the American congregation just scoffs out loud, calls it nonsense. It's this perfect moment of doubt, setting the stage for what happens next.
And then, the climax. This same skeptical man, who apparently needed an iron brace just to stand up straight, goes and touches the garment, and instantly the brace on his back shatters into pieces. I mean, the contrast is just incredible. His verbal doubt was met with immediate, physical, undeniable proof.
So these stories are amazing, right? But the source text doesn't just leave us with cool anecdotes. It actually digs in and starts to analyze why this stuff happened. It unpacks the mechanics behind these miracles.
This quote right here gets straight to the heart of it. There was nothing magic about the fabric. The agbadas were just clothes. The power wasn't in the object. It was put into the object because a divine instruction, that accomplishing word, had been spoken about them. And it was the obedience to that word that flipped the switch.
So what this all boils down to is a direct link back to that first idea from Isaiah. The source concludes that when the Holy Spirit speaks, the instruction that follows, no matter how silly or foolish it seems to our human minds, is an accomplishing word. It's designed to succeed. It will not fall to the ground.
Okay, so this brings up a huge question, doesn't it? If obeying this kind of voice is so critical, how on earth can you be sure you're hearing the right one?
The source material gets this, and it shifts from the what to the how, giving some guidance on this idea of discernment.
The text really frames the challenge clearly by saying there are 3 different voices you might hear inside. First, you have the Holy Spirit, the source of real divine prophecy. But then, you also have a voice of deception, which the text attributes to the devil. And finally, there's the voice of your own human spirit. You know, your own thoughts, your fears, your wants. The real skill is learning to tell them apart.
And the source is really clear here. Learning to do this isn't about some secret formula or a 10-step checklist. It defines discernment as something that grows out of a close, intimate relationship. It's like how you know your best friend's voice on the phone instantly. You don't have to ask, "Who is this?" You just know.
And that really brings us to the ultimate point of this whole text, the ability to hear and then act on an accomplishing word. Even a crazy one, like wearing 7 robes, isn't about being some kind of spiritual superstar. It's about building a relationship that's so close that the divine voice becomes clear, unmistakable, and cuts right through all the other noise.
So as we wrap up, the text kind of leaves us with this big question to chew on for our own lives. What does it actually mean to tell the difference between a genuine, external, divine call and the internal echo of our own hopes, our own fears, and our own ambitions? Now that's a question worth sitting with for a while.